Let's go right on time.
The shadows on the past behind. Let it run through your veins, take them all down. It is time to reveal your true face. Make me a believer, and I will be an acolyte of the God.
We in this, let's go.
Who will never back down from a fight? I have been waiting for a sign. Take me to your altar of divine. Make me a believer. Become the God gamer tonight. Make me a believer.
What's good?
This ancient technique.
Thank you for the 2 months, Purple Cow. Is that a Seth
44
Godin
months,
reference?
more like 44 bucks, am I right, chat?
So drop
That controller.
Yo, worse of that.
Give it to the Oh, I'm sorry. We need to pause TTS
I'm coming
today.
out of my teenage rebellious phase. I get my cartoon right.
so glad. I am so glad you guys did a TTS early so that I didn't get baited into thinking it was not on. I'm absolutely turning that off. How do I do that? Oh, Yeti's got it. Yeti's got it. They're all paused. Hello!
and make me believe the
Impossible. Let's get a timer going. Let's get a non-cosmetic timer going.
be a believer. And I will be an acolyte of
The God Gamer. Hello. Hi. Howdy. Oh, by the way, I should announce. The Nortel quarter zip. If you love fraud, but Canada, we always talk about American fraud. If you want fraud up north, fraud a little colder, you can get this fucking stylish and fraudulent Nortel quarter zip available on sale today. And in fact, I don't know if you should purchase it right this second. If you purchase it in 30 minutes between 8 and 9 p.m. Pacific during Marketing Monday, I believe shipping will be free. That is the plan for today. Shipping will be free. So enjoy that if you want to make fun of Canada. Hello, Killer Pizza. We also have the hats, but like these. Nortel. These lottery winners, free shipping to Canada. I don't know. I don't know the countries. I don't know. I just told them free shipping. I don't, but always they change it. So is it possibly worth checking? I'll let you know. Name a country. I can't name a single one. If it's the same manufacturer, the Enron connects. It is the same manufacturer. Atrioc, how do you get rights for this stuff? Oh, it's simple. I buy the companies out. So what I did was I bought out Nortel on a hostile takeover after they had been blown up and ruined the pensions of millions of Canadians. I said, no, that won't fly. And I bought them out, got their copyright, and then made sort of a buy low, sell high, brilliant situation. Big A, I am your smallest fan. What does that mean? Do you mean you are very tepid in your support of my content, or that you are physically extremely small? What is that? Or both? Yeah, honestly, there's probably a correlation. I'll just say it. There's probably a correlation. If you have 3'2" energy, Big A, do a bit on the Robinhood election betting. Do a bit on it. Hey guys, you hear about this Robinhood election betting? You can gamble on the election with Robinhood. What do they have you gambling on next? Your ex-wife? That kills on Facebook. Hey, I bet 1K on Kamala winning. Am I cooked? Well, your odds are pretty good. I had a couple people on the Reddit that were saying they took my advice, which was not my advice, by the way. I was just making a musing. I was just out loud noticing that those odds were like pretty insane. Like your expected value was in your favor. I didn't say to actually bet on it, but there was people on the Reddit who were like, I listened to Atrioc on Kamala's odds being undervalued. Gamba, gamba, gamba. And they're fucking tossing money at election. It's not financial advice and it's not what I said, but very, 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 very interesting election. I got to be honest with you. I've been quite invested in reading all of the latest and greatest polls, and it does really seem like it's funny. If you read, depending on where you read on the internet, there is someone who will factually and categorically tell you that their side is about to have a landslide sweep. There is enough content that there is going to be like it's guaranteed. Somebody's going to be disappointed. Somebody's going to be disappointed because literally the confidence level on both sides is crazy. It seems like a true toss-up. I have gotten more uncertain in the past 3 days. Actually, I'll tell you, I think I have a guaranteed bet. Kamala Harris will win Texas and Trump will win California. That's my one bet, guaranteed. Throw money on it. Okay? California flips 100% red. Texas flips 100% blue. Lock that in. And then, shockingly, Florida and New York both go for Bernie Sanders. Only those two states. He doesn't win the election, but Bernie gets two big states out of the blue. Pennsylvania goes green for Jill Stein. It's gonna be Vermont does not vote Bernie. No, just Florida and New York. Yeah, and then the Rizzler wins Iowa. The Rizzler wins Iowa in a landslide. In fact, takes the entire Midwest. Not Ohio? No, everything but Ohio, actually. Ohio goes to Big Justice. So it's gonna be the youth vote comes out in a huge way. There's gonna be a lot of youth voting this year, big uptick, but they all vote for Skibbity Toilet, which sweeps, 180 electoral votes. So it's gonna be crazy. It is gonna be a wild election. I'm confident in that. Who should I bet on? I do not want to give you a gambling advice. You understand how that doesn't make sense for me? You understand that? You understand that that would be a foolish thing for me to do. The only thing I can tell you is that if you're going to gamble, you should put it all on red 32 in roulette, because that's guaranteed. Because here's the thing. Here's what you don't understand. If you bet, let's say $1,000 on red 32 and it doesn't come up, do it again. You know what I'm saying? You make like 30 times your money. There's like no way you won't eventually hit and then make a big fucking payout. Just do the math. Don't think about it. It's gonna be due. You know what you should do is you should actually sit there at the roulette table and then wait for a while till it doesn't come up, and then you're just like, it's got to be due, and then you're set and you'll make a mint. Did you see XQC bet $700,000 on Kamala Harris? Yeah, I did. I did see that. Aiden Ross bet $1 million on Trump. So I'm glad. I'm glad that our election betting is legal, because it's already leading to great outcomes. I'm glad that Kit gave him $100 million. Big A, I'm not going to lie. I think more youth would vote if they let you open a pack before you vote. I think if you could smoke a pack before you vote. I heard cigarette smoking's coming back. That's what I heard. I heard cigarette smoking's cool again. Let's get that back. Is the oops all Canada? Canada is in today's Marketing Monday. I don't know how many countries I actually ended up picking. It's like 130 slides, something like that. A lot of it's China. What did I got like Russia. There's a lot of countries that I picked today. Well, not that many countries, but I go deep dive. No, I actually didn't include India today. I kind of wanted to do a fuller India thing. Poland, bro, I'll tell you all I know about Poland. They're doing surprisingly well. All I can tell you about Poland is it seems like their economy's like kind of doing pretty well. They're like surprise. You keep forgetting about them, but they're doing surprisingly well. But I didn't have. I'm trying to make stories that all kind of connect, but go around the globe. It was harder than I thought. I don't know that I. Hey, just let the buyer beware. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Thank you for the 5 gifted. Much appreciated. I got to tell you, I had my single largest sub day ever watching Faker win world championships, which is like, it's almost like I died and went to heaven. That's how the fuck did, how do I get to watch Faker win and people give me thousands of dollars? That's wild. Did you give him his cut? Yeah, of course. I send all my money to Faker. I send all my money to T1. They haven't responded yet, but I'm sure they're going to get back to me. I write these little notes and I say like, hey Faker, Faker Hyung, here's my monthly salary for this month. Hope it helps you in your fight against all those non-believers. Hey, Atrioc, isn't betting on the election legal? Still going to be decided in a legal case. That's why there are not a lot of websites based in America that allow that. I thought it's passed. There might be like judicial review. There might be some kind of challenge, but I understand it's passed. It's already settled law. Could be wrong. Did you see this? The Stensler Iowa Poe? That's not how her name is spelled, right? It's not Stensler. Is it? Seltzer, yeah. Yeah, that sounds like I was like, that's not right. Yeah, I did see it. If she's right, I mean, listen, here's the thing. I'll give you the quick narrative breakdown here. Is that within the past week or so, as more votes, 70 million Americans have already voted, which is absurd. The amount of early voting has been crazy. 70 million Americans have already got their vote in, which is like a massive chunk of America. We're only a 300 million country, and not everybody votes. And one of the trends that seems to be emerging is that, again, currently, so far, women early vote more than men, so it's a little skewed, but women are voting higher than men. They're getting higher and then voting before at the same time as men. They're voting at higher rates, okay? And then women, in general, with a bit of a caveat for white women, but in general, women are voting for Kamala Harris. So, because of that, it seemed like there was an underrepresented, like in the polling and the data and the analysis, underrepresented just the amount of the women sweep that is coming into this election. So Kamala Harris is appearing more favorable, having better odds than was thought. But it's really just pushing it back to like a 50-50 toss-up in the ones I'm reading. If the Seltzer poll is correct, then it's going to be a blue sweep. It's going to be lights out. I mean, if the men in general do not turn up to vote at an equal participation rate to the women, it's going to be, so we'll see. Anyway, Kerouac, what up? 59 months. I just bought my first house last week. You bought your first house last week? I understand that you just mean you're getting your first house, which is, congratulations. That's awesome. Atrioc Mod pays well, folks. He lives in Toronto. Canada, and he bought a fucking $6 million, and that's because he's an Atrioc Mod. That is Quack, not me. No, I'm doing a Canada joke. I understand that you don't live there, Kerouac. Atrioc Mod pays well. Just bought my first house last week. But it's funny because the way you phrase it implies you're going to buy more. Like you're a fucking TikTok real estate grifter. I just bought my first house, then I cash out, refied, put that money back into the market, bought 6 or 7 more Airbnbs, and now I'm financially independent. You can do it too. Anyone can. Are you Ballotpedia pilled? No, not really. Ballotpedia. What are we seeing here? No, I'm not. I am not. in Ballotpedia. I only go to Ben Shapiro's Discord to get all my my polling news. So that's whatever that is, whatever pedia. If you're covering Canada, please watch all the videos of 80-year-old Chinese ladies fighting in the Richmond Costco parking lot. You know, I'm trying to cover slightly bigger stories, you know, like economic trouble, rising youth unemployment. Not necessarily elderly Chinese ladies fighting in a parking lot. I could be included. I will say this. Well, let's actually kind of check this out. Fight at Richmond Costco parking lot caught on video. And we gotta know. What are they fighting over? This is some World Star shit. Oh, parking spot? I mean, the thing is, though, not that I want to support violence. It's just like a prime parking spot at Costco is a big deal. It's not like, it's no laughing matter. It's not a joke. Like, if someone yoinks your parking spot, it is actually a big fucking deal because you have all this stuff to carry and you don't want to go all the way to the back of the fucking lot. You really do have to get... You've done this? No. Nobody fights me because I show up and I wear 3 ammo bandoliers and an AK-47 on my back. And I say, open carry for freedom. And then I wave 2 flags. And so no one tries to fuck with me when I take my parking spot. And a Sigma tank top, yeah. And I walk my white ass right to the front of the gold section of Costco. I sweep all the gold bars into my bag, and I walk out spending fucking $143,000. Ready for World War III, big dog. MOC Mike, thank you for the 30 months. What's stream plan tomorrow? Tomorrow, I am going to go vote. As a man, statistically, I vote on election day rather than early vote. So I'll be following my demographic destiny, and I'm going to vote in person tomorrow. Get my sticker, and then I'm going to go live, and I'm going to be live most of the day. I'm going to do a big all-day election stream, trying to keep up with everything going on in America. And that is the plan. That is the plan for tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, I'll be covering the fucking Civil War. On Wednesday, I'll be covering the Civil War, so we'll have that penciled in. And that'll be fun too. Reminder, Nortel merch, specifically this fucking slick and stylish quarter zip. Feels good, looks good. Is available starting at 8 p.m. in 9 minutes, and then shipping is free for at least the United States. I'm not sure about everywhere else, but I think. What did Nortel do? They're like the Canadian Enron, bro. They basically were the most valuable company in Canada. Complete collapse. Took out thousands and thousands of Canadian pensions, millions really, because they were invested in the Canadian stock market, which was entirely grown based on Nortel's valuation. Big disaster. Big disaster. So it was worth a couple nickels, essentially. Hey, since we're talking about Canada, I want to hear your thoughts. I recently moved from BC to Ontario. The reason was that Vancouver housing prices weren't high enough for me. So I set my sights on Toronto. That would be motivated to grustle harder. Is that smart? That's very smart. That's very smart. If you ever live in a place that has low cost of living, what you're saying is you have low opinion of yourself, okay? Simply move somewhere more expensive and work even harder. That's just a fact. Never try to set up yourself in such a way to where you can live your life comfortably. Nobody wants comfort. Comfort is the enemy. You want to live somewhere where it's like $3 million for a studio, and that way you're like constantly pushing yourself. I feel like Vancouver, and they're all expensive. Canada's crazy. Any UK stories? No, I don't actually think I included the UK today. UK, oi, bro. I have a little bit about AUKUS, but I didn't actually include the UK. I mean, to be honest, what I noticed very quickly is a lot of these problems are in every country. You know, if I talk about, I already have Canada and Australia. If I put fucking the UK in, it's just the same thing 3 times. And the second thing I noticed is that there's a lot of countries in the world, and you have to fit this all in a certain spot. What's this? Big news. Big news. Paddington in Peru debuts with a 95% score on Rotten Tomatoes, the lowest score of the trilogy. Wow. The lowest score of the trilogy. A fall off to a low 95%. Paddington in Peru, huh? Let me make sure the air's on. It is fucking hot. Can I confess you something? Can I confess? I have not seen Paddington, not any one of them. I have not watched any Paddington. I've heard it's amazing. I've heard it's quite good. I have no reason to disagree, but it hasn't, I'm not the asshole. I'm not, don't YTA me. I'm not an asshole for that. I think I would like it. I probably will watch it, but I haven't seen it yet. What? You're a piece of shit. I would love to understand why you think that, you know? It's like someone has to watch it eventually. Everyone learns something new every day. I haven't seen it. At what point did I become an asshole for not watching it? Like the movie comes out, if I don't watch it in the first hour, am I the asshole? Is it the first week? Like when frame 1? Okay, and so all of you calling me the asshole, you all watched Paddington the exact first frame it was released. Okay, well then I'm the asshole. I don't know what to do. Yeah, you got me cut me dead to rights. I can't believe you all did that. Yeah, I'll watch it though. I'll watch it. I actually watched it earlier than that. You know, I've seen one movie in my life before it was released in theaters. I got a pre-screening of Finding Nemo because I was on the Disney cruise and they said because we were out in open waters and no one could pirate it on the cruise that they were going to let us watch it early. And so I got to watch Finding Nemo early. But there's pirates in the ocean. Yeah, it was crazy. As we were watching Finding Nemo, Somali pirates boarded the ship, said, "I am the captain now," and then stole the tape of Finding Nemo. And then it got pirated. So Disney never did this again. It was crazy. It was a real unfortunate situation. Thankfully, I am a defender of corporate rights and profits. So as an 8-year-old, I fought them all off and saved the tape and gave it back to Bob Iger himself, who wasn't even CEO at the time. So just genius stuff. But he worked his way up because of that. You planted the seed. Yeah, I saw a glimmer in his eye that he was on his way to the top. Hey, Big A, just curious. Would your dad do this for you? Dude waited 70 years to make this statement. What is this?
Hey. All of this happened because I got laid.
Speak the truth.
That's no, I don't know that my dad would do that. Not 100%. Not 100% sure he would do that. My dad's Me Llamo Darren speech did go fucking dumb hard, though, at my wedding. Dumb hard. All the Latinos in the audience lost their fucking minds, dude. Easy tap in. Easy fucking tap in. Atrioc, can you say that at my wedding? I'm going to go to your wedding and say all of this happened because I got laid. Despite not knowing you. I feel like that's just going to confuse people. I feel like your family and friends are going to be confused. Why is this stranger talking about how he got laid? Kamala needs a last Hola Amigos moment. I will say, dude, it's so... it's funny. I was reading like undecided voter interviews and things like that. And the timeline is this, in case you don't know. Tony Hinchcliffe, comedian, goes on stage at a Trump event, makes a comment calling Puerto Rico an island of garbage, causes backlash. Joe Biden in the White House calls Trump supporters garbage. Donald Trump seizes on that moment and then wears a garbage outfit, a garbage man's outfit, and drives a garbage truck to like lean into the joke. But the problem is there's a lot of voters, because Joe Biden just doesn't have the media attention. It doesn't hit as much as Trump. And so there's voters who only know the first part and the third part, which makes the first part seem way worse. And it's like, there's like people like, yeah, like I heard about the Puerto Rico island of garbage thing, and I didn't know if I believed it till I saw Trump. Why did you do the garbage truck thing? So I'm surprised. I mean, listen, I obviously think the fucking Puerto Rico island of garbage is an insanely fucking horrendous thing to say, but it's just funny that it caught on. And from what I can read, it's like that actually had an impact. Like people, and what's so wild, I lost the map. I wish I had the map. It's shocking how Puerto Ricans living in the mainland United States live almost exclusively in swing states. It's like the highest Puerto Rican populations are in like Pennsylvania, and it's shocking. I don't know. It's fucking shocking. And you can't write this. It's all wild. Kamala's going door to door in Pennsylvania. That's wild. I feel like the candidates aren't recognizing the power of filming a really hilarious TikTok. You know, you need to have massive individual door to door is only going to get you 1 to 2 people. You got to or I do want to say this. None of the candidates has recognized the fucking influential power of hitting platinum in League of Legends. Okay? Because if you hit plat, it says something about your character. It says something about your ability to lead. So I feel like if either Trump or Kamala could hit platinum, it would. So they should spend their last few weeks of the election. Well, they have 24 hours now, really. They should spend it grinding solo queue. Not gonna lie, if there was a Chow running for president, I'd vote for them. Yeah, you should lie about that. You absolutely should lie about that. That's not something you should tell me. That's not what I need to know from my audience. That's crazy. That's not an experience at all. And if you know any challengers, especially North American challengers, they're like universally terrible people. I would vote for Korean challenger for American president. I would vote for SKT1 Faker for anything. Yeah, of course, but that's a little different, isn't it? That's a little bit different. Is it too soon to start the chant Jill Stein 2028? I believe it will. You know what? It's never too soon, buddy. Get out there and chant. Go off, King. Go off, King. Get out there. Big A, any thoughts on the world's greatest gamer results? I think Void is an incredible gamer. And so it makes sense that he winning twice is like pretty cool because it shows it ain't no fluke. So that's cool. What else? I'll make sure I got all my shit together. There's like so many slides here, and I'm worried that I'll have to jump around, jump up, and get down. Oh, I definitely need one more slide here. Fucking what? Yeah. Can you not hear my... Dude, what happened? I remember the good old days when I would take a screenshot and then go... And then chat would span the camera. Why does it no longer do that? Did it do it? I just took a screenshot and we didn't get the camera. It's just that's a tragedy. Okay. Let's see here. Did I cover it all? Let's see here. Yes. I believe that I did. One more screenshot. Sorry. Timer's ticking. I just really want to get. Sorry. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Perfecto. It looks good. It looks quite good. Did you see Elon saying he's oh, dude, did you guys see this? Elon Musk went on Joe Rogan and in like the opening 10 minutes was bragging about being the top 20 Diablo player in the world. He said he's like one of the only Americans to do it. That shit's so wild to me. That is so wild to me. First of all, Diablo is not a fucking, it's not a skill-based game. It's like a time and money and grind-based game. And secondly, like, the dude has tweeted, I'm not kidding, 1,000 times in the past week. I'm not kidding. That's not an exaggeration. I think he's tweeted 1,000 times in the past week. And so if he's doing that plus grinding Diablo, why does anyone think he's working hard? Why does anyone think he's working hard? How does he pretend to be busy? The SBF special? No, SBF never. SBF wasn't even close. SBF doesn't have a half of that aura. Atrioc, can you tell me who I need to bet on to win the election? I need to make rent this month. Bet on an underdog. Bet on Joe Biden coming back to win it, because if you're right, then you're moving from a fucking apartment to a castle, bro. Think bigger. Think bigger. Get out of that Kia, get into a Ferrari with a Joe Biden bet. That's financial advice, by the way. That's financial advice. C-Lord22, thank you for the subs. Thank you for all the subs, boys. Appreciate it. Appreciate the subs. Much appreciated. Thank you to all the faker subs during the T1 game. Again, that was my highest earning day, I think, in Twitch history. Shocking. I don't know why. I don't know why that was so whatever, but I'm ahead of the game. So, and I got to say, it's been pretty awesome that I just think about how great Faker is. It just makes me happy. It's just been awesome. It's just been a fucking awesome ride because they won. And I've watched like everybody's reactions to game 4 and 5. Huh. What a rush. What chills. Oh yeah, I told chatters that 1 sub was 1 prayer for Faker. I did do that. I did that, and then everyone subbed, and then Faker won. Coincidence? No, coincidence? I'm just asking. This is interesting. If he'd have lost, then I guess you could make the case that I emotionally exploited people for subs. But because he won, it's like I just made a direct causation. I basically saved the T1 with a spirit bomb. So, if he lost, it was because we didn't sub hard enough. Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. If they had lost, I would have just blamed Chad and said we got to sub more for next year. MVLKMVN, thank you for the 4 months. Midget Panda 96, thank you for the 24 months. Atrioc, have you seen that NVIDIA is asking for legal protection against fraud in the Supreme Court? What's that about? Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't want to overstate. NVIDIA is currently the most valuable company on earth, bro. However, there's clearly some unwinding that has to be done around this super micro stuff. I don't know. We don't know how much NVIDIA is impacted, but we do know that their 3rd largest customer was Supermicro, and Supermicro is likely fraudulent. I mean, top to bottom, like, hiding costs, overstating income. So it's tough to say. I have no idea. I truly don't know, and I don't know what level of involvement. I don't know. It's something we have to see. I can't speculate because I really don't know. It could be nothing. It could be nothing related to NVIDIA, and they have so much demand, they move the order somewhere else, and it's fine. Or it could be a bigger deal. I can't tell you. AI bull popping. I don't know about that, but I do know that there was an interesting quote from the Baidu CEO out of China. He's talking about the AI race over there too, and he said he was just a little more candid, less bubble inflating, and he was like 99% of AI businesses are going to fail. He just said I'm quite certain that 99% are going to zero. And it was just an interesting quote that kind of got picked up on. Mind delaying marketing by 3 minutes? I need to finish this bet. Yeah, probably I'll delay it for 3 minutes. I got a couple things I want to talk about, so let me make sure that I get to those before so here's the thing. Here's the rub today. We're not talking about American news in today's Marketing Monday, but I have so many. I haven't done this in 2 weeks, and I have an insane number of stories I want to talk to you guys about that I've been holding on to. So I saved some interesting USA news that I could talk to a chat about. In fact, perhaps give me 10 minutes. Let's do a little mini marketing Monday before the marketing Monday. Americans only. Americans only. Let's see if we can do a quick one. We'll farm a clip out of it, all right? A quick American only marketing Monday with bonus news stories that I want to talk to you guys about before we get to the world news. By the way, if you're watching this on Big A Clips channel, reminder, you can get the new Nortel quarter zip and Nortel hats. Support Canadian fraud. It's like American fraud, but colder. Nortel, one of actually the biggest fraud in Canada history. Wear that merch proudly on your body and let the Canadians know you remember their greatest moment. They also have just a cooler logo. I got to be honest with you. The Nortel logo just looks a little bit cooler than Enron. Okay, wait. I'm getting an aw snap from my browser. What, am I too much memory? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my God, I do have like 6 trillion fucking news article tabs open. Holy. It's not a Starforge PC. It's a different PC with similar problems. Honestly, I don't get it. Is it so crazy to imagine that if you spend $5,000 on a PC, you should never have problems again? That is what I believe. I believe that. I believe if you spend $5,000 on a PC, this should just be it. You're good. It's crazy. It's fucking absurd. I'm not running Cyberpunk on Max, dude. I'm fucking reading the news. I can't wait to replace this Intel chip. I cannot wait. Oh, speaking of Intel, dude, Intel, I talked about this. Intel, another 17,000 layoffs. Company in free fall, disaster. They took CHIPS Act money from the government and then used it on like bonuses and bailouts. We're getting to the point where there's discussion about the United States needing to bail out Intel because we need to have a chips company in America. But Washington, D.C. is getting increasingly nervous that we're going to have a bankrupt chips company exactly when we need one for geopolitical. We're going to have to like nationalize Intel, dude. It's shocking. Or they're thinking about possibly merging it with Qualcomm or something to keep it alive because it's like non-negotiable that we need to have a chips company and in America, and they're just being so poorly run. Similar with Boeing, we can't, like, Boeing is too big to fail. We can't lose our aircraft production industry. It's a problem. Additionally, do you remember how a few weeks ago I talked about the Amazon work from home ending and the chaos and protests around that, where I basically said this is a stealth layoff, like they are trying to get people to quit. They don't want to announce it as a layoff, but they're trying to get people to quit. Well, that is getting confirmed more and more by other companies that have done the same thing, including a huge accounting firm, KPMG, which said, hey, nobody voluntarily quit, so we're making it mandatory and we're firing you. They basically said, we went back to office and expected more people to quit. Not enough of them did, so, so we have to fire them. It's becoming more and more obvious that like that exactly was the case. Amazon doing the same thing, where Amazon's basically saying if enough managers don't quit from the return to office, then we're just gonna have to start firing people. Secondly, I wanted to mention a win, an American win. Listen, we talk a lot on this stream about investing and the right way to set up your money for your financial future. And some of you say, oh, I invested in this stock or that bond or that security, or I invested in this parlay or this gamba, or I bet on the election, right? These are all different ways you guys have set up your financial future to bet. But that's not reliable. It's not stable. You know, you can't know exactly how safe your money's going to be in each individual one of these things. That is until the smartest person in America, a gamer, came along and realized all he has to do is take all of his money and invest in 24 years of PlayStation Plus. Because he noticed Sony kept hiking the prices, but he loves gaming. And he's like, I'm going to play at least for 24 more years of gaming. So he just bought prepaid 24 years in advance of PlayStation Plus. And that way, all these price increases over the next 24 years will not impact him. He is inflation proof. And at the rate they've been increasing, he's probably getting like a 6% return, assuming he actually uses this, which is pretty impressive. Now, if PlayStation doesn't exist in 24 years, then you made a mistake, but kind of genius. Another thing, I talked about how Chili's supremacy remains true as TGI Fridays, one of Chili's big competitors, is announcing bankruptcy. TGI Fridays going out of business. And obviously rip in pieces, you know, rot and piss. TGI Fridays. We don't care. We're all at Chili's having a good time. Chili's sweep. We don't care. However, the interesting business side of the story is what happens when a long-running franchise chain announces bankruptcy is apparently every single off and on kind of customer over the years who's acquired a useless gift card from friends and family digs it out of the couch cushions and makes a run on the restaurant. There's a $50 million run in gift cards of everyone trying to get their last bit of TGI Fridays gift cards out of this bankrupt dying company before it goes under, which is pretty fascinating. So if you've got one, smoke it if you got it, because they're thinking about not honoring this. They're thinking about not honoring this. I can't think of a more underwhelming gift to get than a Fridays gift card. I could think of a couple. I remember I think my grandma got me an iTunes gift card in like 2019. like I hadn't touched iTunes in 15 years. Something absurd. I was like, what do I don't even know how to, I'm not even sure where she got that. YTA ungrateful. Do you think I said that to her face? Of course I did. I let her know. I let her know. No, I just converted it to V-Bucks. To Robux. Oh, this was interesting. I don't know if this is a win or a fail, but I saw a graph that I thought was worth discussing with chat, which was, this is on Reddit. If Europeans voted on our election, so if Denmark voted in our election, it would be 96% for Harris. Denmark, Finland, Sweden, Netherlands, Norway, Germany, Ireland, France, Lithuania, Austria. Those are all Harris favored. Then around here, when you get to like Eastern Europe, Slovenia, Slovakia, Moldova, Bulgaria, Hungary, Georgia, Serbia, and of course Russia. 78% for Big T. What is the gray? Switzerland is other. Dude, even in this poll, Switzerland's neutral. They're the only one that has an other. That's funny. That's fucking funny. That's funny. So that one was interesting. Then I had wait, we have about 47 seconds. Give me just one more minute for the last thing I wanted to mention. And then we'll jump into the world news. Oh, dude, yeah. Do you guys remember the the controversy around Chipotle, where everyone was saying their portion sizes got smaller? People started testing it. Eventually, a Wall Street firm sent an intern down there to buy the same bowl like 500 times to measure the different amounts and prove factually that some of the portions were smaller. Well, Chipotle realized they were losing customers and losing, brand image because of this controversy. So their CEO said, hey, we're going to ensure generous portions. We're going to make it happen. So they did it. They went back to the old portions, as far as I can tell. They tried to make everything bigger and chunkier and juicier. And then recently, I'm talking about like 3 days ago, they put out a report saying, hey, this sucks. It costs us too much money. Trying to make the portions consistent and generous is like hurting our profits. This is not fun at all. I thought that was interesting. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? It's almost like that's why you did it in the first place. Yeah, maybe cut the CEO pay. The benefit, yeah. It was their CFO in the earnings call. Okay, we got that. We got another fucking article. This is my screenshot from my phone. Can I even show you guys this? Copy image URL. Does this load? No, it doesn't. You can't see it then. Oh, actually, I can screenshot it again. I can't seem to, well, whatever. Well, actually, I'll just find the article. Inflation is basically back to normal. Why do? Listen, I've often made this argument. Oh, wait, give me just a little more time, timer. Give me a little more time. Less than that. 2 minutes. I've made this argument that people probably blame inflation in the wrong places, but they are mad about it. And I get annoyed so frequently when articles come out like this, which basically are just constantly gaslighting people that, why do consumers keep giving the economy poor marks, even though everything is great? Does no one notice? Does anyone writing these articles notice that this is happening consistently over and over across all demographics? There's a political bent, sure, but I mean, this is the same thing that's happening. Like I found articles just like this in Canada. There's articles like this in Canada. There's articles like this in Australia. There's articles like this in China. There's articles like this in the UK. Everywhere, it's like everything's getting good. Inflation's lower. Why is everyone mad? And it's like, first of all, prices haven't gone down. They've just stopped rising so fast. It's so frustrating. I'm surprised. It makes me confused why I don't see many alternate discussions. They're all framed through the lens of everybody is stupid. All right. Last thing for America. Dude, I have to talk about, okay, last thing I'll talk about. So I actually interviewed a Starbucks employee who I play basketball with about this. If you guys are Starbucks users, I'm not sure that you are, you may have noticed the CEO, former CEO, Howard Schultz, announced a big push into the future of coffee before he quit. Okay? Right before he quit, he announced that they were getting into, we're going to pause this timer. They are getting into olive oil coffee, where they just pour slimy, thick olive oil into the coffee. Oleatos. Okay? And the Starbucks employee I was talking to basically told me that he had to come in on his day off. They had to give him a training, explain this new idea from the CEO, how is it going to be great for coffee. They had to taste test it. They all said it tasted slimy and gross. They said, what do we do if a customer asks us what we think about this? They said, you can't say it's bad. The worst you can say is it's not for me. Later comes out that the Starbucks CEO, Howard Schultz, was close personal friends with the company that was providing the olive oil. So he basically hooked up his friend to make a huge Starbucks contract. Then they fucking launch it. It's a disaster. It doesn't sell well. He quits the company, pieces out, deuces, and now Starbucks is canceling it after spending millions to set it up in every store. It was like some fucking random CEO bullshit where you're supposed to eat a tablespoon of olive oil each day. It's crazy. People act like the CEOs are just smarter and better, dude. People complain that shrinks triggered painful stomach issues. Anyway, I talked to the employee again, the Starbucks employee on basketball on Sunday, and he told me that they told all the employees, "Don't worry, we'll bring it back. We're just temporarily sunsetting it." I promise you that shit is not coming back. I promise you that shit is gone for good. All right, now without further ado, I think we're at the last 5 seconds. Do I feel like I have everything I need to talk about Marketing Monday? I think I do. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's count the fuck down. Got water. I need to turn this off. And all I need from you, my fine ladies and gentlemen, is to ensure that you analyze the screen, and when you see yourself, you type Poggy's me so I can know which of you aligns to which character in the intro. By the way, last plug, if you're watching Marketing Monday today and you'd like to get a Nortel quarter zip, one of these nice, stylish Nortel quarter zips commemorating the greatest fraud in Canada business history, you can get it right now at failedcos.co with free shipping for the next 30 minutes. Free shipping for the next 30 minutes is the only time we're doing this offer. Free shipping for the next 30 minutes. Countdown! To Marketing Monday, wins and fails, where we go over all of the wins and the fails in the last week in marketing and business. This is a picture of our beautiful Earth and all of its interesting and unique countries. You may notice something if you're a longtime Marketing Monday viewer. We only cover things from here sometimes. Some weeks, this is the only country we talk about. Maybe a little bit of China, but other than that, we're kind of only getting these two. USA. And you know what? I'm damn proud of it. This is where all the business action's happening. I've got no problem with it. However, we've had a week off from Marketing Monday. I spent a lot of time studying, a lot of time learning, a lot of time reading. And I'll be honest with you. This week, there is absolutely no news going on in the United States of America. There is absolutely nothing noteworthy to talk about. I can't find a single news story that I can cover. So, for this week and this week only, we are getting rid of United States news and we are going global. Part of this could be because apparently these two people were in some sort of election. I have no idea. I can't. This is like, it's under the radar. No one talks about it. It's too under the radar. So apparently their election will happen after this is recorded, but before it airs on YouTube. So we won't be able to, by the time it uploads, the answer will have happened. So we need to talk about some other things. So let's talk about what they might have to discuss when one of these two becomes president. And we're going to go around the world. I picked some different countries from all different continents to try and see what the hell's going on in the world. Give you an update on non-US interests. Let's start with a country that really is interested in American elections, but is entirely different. Russia! We'll start with Russia. Let's see what's going on in Russia with a segment I like to call Privet Moscow. What's going on in Russia? What's going on in Russia, Privet Moscow? So, ladies and gentlemen, There is a thing in economics called the guns and butter model. The guns versus butter model. Basically, it is a way of explaining trade-offs that governments have to make when they spend their government budget. The idea is if you spend your money on more guns, you get less butter. That's the idea, okay? And butter's a metaphor for things like Social Security or schooling or, lower cost of goods. The idea is you have to make some kind of trade-off between how much you spend on defense, war, and good production. Opportunity cost is the idea, yeah. And leaders throughout history have talked about the guns versus butter model. There's great quotes from many leaders throughout history talking about how they're focusing on more guns or more butter. Until an even greater leader came along, Vladimir Putin, who said, nah, we can do both. Oh, sorry, wait, let me make sure this is, there. Putin said there is no trade-off. We can solve defensive problems without destroying the economy. We can easily have both guns and butter. We'll just simply focus on both. You do not have to choose. Okay? That's what he said. And so, again, this is a metaphor. Butter is not supposed to be actual butter. It means, all the social spending stuff. Well, it turns out in Putin's case, it was literal because he is literally going through a butter Armageddon right now in Russia. It turns out all of the spending on guns is literally leading to actual butter prices rising 20% year over year. And now there is so much butter theft in Russian grocery stores, they have to lock it up like it's a fucking Nintendo DS. They're putting butter in the clear plastic, like caviar protection. We are seeing extreme rises in Russian butter shoplifting. So the guns and butter meta is pretty interesting. However, Russia has a plan to fix this budget deficit problem, that all the spending they're doing on the Ukraine war. Where could they go to get a whole bunch of money? American tech companies have a lot of money. How about Google? Russia recently had Google block some major state media channels on YouTube. So all of these, like Moscow Media, Public Television of Russia, all these channels got blocked on Russian YouTube. And the Russian government said, you better unblock them. And then Google said no. So Russian government said, we're going to fine you $1,000 a week. And every week you don't unblock them, we're going to double it. Well, I don't know if you guys know, the Ukraine war has been going on a long time now. It's been quite a few weeks. And so now it has hit a number of 2 undecillion rubles, which is $22 decillion. That is 22 and I think 31 zeros. Which is how much Google currently owes Russia for not unblocking the websites. If they were to pay up, it would cover the value of every asset on Earth times like 1,000. So Google better start digging between the couch cushions. They better start hunting because this is a big fine to pay. It will make Russia the most valuable and powerful country in human history. So really smart play here by Putin. Genius. Speaking of smart plays, as you guys know, there is a long-running war in Ukraine between Russia and Ukraine. And right now, up until now, the only combatants in the war have been between Russia and Ukraine. Obviously, NATO has been supporting the Ukraine side, and other countries have been supportive of the Russian side by helping them buy their oil, like China. However, as of this week, a certain country, seen here as being the only country on Earth not lit up at night, has decided to send troops to join the Russian forces in combat. Anyang Pyongyang in this segment of North Korean news. Kim Jong-un and Putin seen here, friends to the end. We now have a multi-state war here where North Korean troops, 10,000 of them, have shipped off to Russia to help fight in the Ukraine war, thus bringing East Asia into a ever-escalating global conflict. Now, this was all theoretical until I believe yesterday when they actually entered open combat. Ukraine and North Korean troops have now officially begun firefighting as of yesterday. This is causing problems all over as it threatens to escalate what was a 2-country war into a 3-country war. North Korea brings in its alliance with other... Again, I'm not saying World War III, but I am saying this is how these kind of things start. You know, one country jumps in. And South Korea, you know, is already pledging more support towards Ukraine in response to North Korea pledging more support to Russia. So again, it's a problem. It is a problem, especially at the exact same time North Korea is doing missile tests near South Korea. So we are getting extra tinderboxy here, folks. And all of this stems from the partnership between Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. Kim Jong-un is not doing this for no reason. He senses he can help Putin here and receive concessions of his own, including increased missile technology and nuclear technology that come from Russia. So again, it's a tit-for-tat situation that increases the tension, not only in Europe, but now in East Asia, now that they've had a bit of conflict. However, one country is happy about all of this war stuff happening elsewhere, and that's Germany, because it's not on them. If we get World War III, it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go 3 for 3. We simply can't blame Germany this time around. There's just no way they're involved. So let's do a little update with Brandon on Brandenburg. What's going on in Germany? Couple interesting stories coming out of Germany. One was they did one of the largest tests that has ever been done on the 4-day work week. And the results were surprising. The results were surprising. A number of firms that worked on the 4-day work week reported that, in fact, revenue went up. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, this is the wrong one. Revenue went up. It's been economically profitable for us. They had a dramatic increase in productivity. People had more time with their families, more time to pursue hobbies. They could do things like repair cars on Fridays, and they still had a 40% increase in revenue. It was a shocking result. Again, this is one of the largest real world studies. They use actual real companies, and the results were pretty impressive. However, they could not have come at a worse time. And in a worse country, because Germany is in no position to be cutting hours. Germany is in an open recession right now. We'll say it's mild, but it is an open recession ever since they were cut off from Russian natural gas. And at the same time, Germany, which is reliant on its gigantic car industry, is facing stiff competition from China. Volkswagen, seen here, just closed plants for the first time in its entire history. Again, this is like 100 years. Volkswagen plants survived World War II. Germany losing and being divided in World War II, they survived. They stayed open. They stayed open and employed. They are not surviving Chinese competition. They are not surviving the fact that the EVs they're making are not selling and that they are losing the ability to sell in China. This is a problem. This is a problem for Germany. And they are feeling at least currently a mild recession, perhaps a worse one. Again, it's because they lost Russian natural gas. They can't sell to China. And so it's a problem. Invade France. Now we're getting to the World War III again. Again, history tends to be bad when Germany's in a recession, okay? So let's hope everything turns around, the 4-day work. I hope they focus on fewer work days and less on territorial expansion. But that's going on in Germany. On the other side of the world, back closer to home, we have America's hat, Canada, okay? Well, I actually don't have a name for this. Chat right now. Give me a Canadian. Canada A. What about Calgary? What's what's up Canucks? No, out. What about Canada? All right, we'll do what about Canada. What's going on in Canada? America's hat. It's as close as we're going to get to American news this episode, so let's see what we got. Here's the thing about Canada. They are going through a lot of the things that I think America is going through, but they are slightly ahead of pace. So they raised interest rates same as us. They are cutting them earlier and faster than we are to try and prop back up their declining jobs numbers and real estate economy. So Canadians can breathe a sigh of relief, their Bank of Canada says, as they cut interest rates by 50 basis points. The thing is, they've already done this 3 times. Oh, wait, you guys can't see it. Let me go down. He said this when they did the first cut, the second cut, and now the third cut. We in America are on our first cut, and we think it's going to save the real estate market. Canada is now on their 3rd fast interest rate cut in a very short amount of time, and Canadians are not necessarily breathing a sigh of relief. Again, like I say, with the gaslighting, inflation is down, but somehow Canadians are still pessimistic? Why? Why are they so mad about their great economy? And it's because, again, possibly has to do with the fact that affordable rent is still out of reach. Nearly everywhere, you can't have affordable rates. And perhaps if you want to buy a house, you can get this Vancouver home for a cool $2.5 million. This shack in Vancouver is $2.5 million. Perhaps that is why Canadians are not breathing a sigh of relief just because you keep cutting interest rates. Maybe that's not enough. Again, I've talked about this before, but the rise in users of Reddit subreddits like Canada Jobs, Toronto Jobs, Calgary Jobs are all skyrocketing. People try to find better jobs, especially white-collar jobs in Canada. The problems Canada has seem to be a precursor of what we're facing in America. Especially the rise in mortgage delinquencies. Again, if you buy this house in 2021, you may realize by 2024, you can't afford it. You spent $2.5 million on this shack and you don't, this is not appropriate. So you're thinking of leaving. However, like many other great countries before them, Canada has a solution. They have a win. There is a break glass in case of emergency button that will work and has proven to work. Taylor Swift. Taylor fucking Swift. It's been 2 years since I started talking about this. Countries are still doing it. Toronto is literally talking about how they're going to generate their only positive economic growth from a massive Taylor Swift concert. 6 days in Toronto is going to get 240,000 people to come into the city and start spending money they wouldn't have normally spent. It is their last chance. Hopefully she can save the country. They literally made this is from a Canadian news article that showed Taylor Swift as Godzilla sprinkling Canadian money on Toronto and said Swift is an economic engine unto herself. We are getting into truly desperate times for Canada. Now, politically, Canada is also in an interesting and contentious spot. Again, the 2 major issues for Canadian voters are the economy and immigration. Okay? Now, immigration is a difficult topic to discuss without people getting incredibly heated. So I will say this. Canada is a unique case. Until recently, Canada was one of the most tolerant countries for immigration in the world. They had one of the, percentage-wise, least amount of people who were upset about it. They liked it. It was incredible. So there is something different happening. And I have to say, the math does bear out the fact that there has been a dramatic rise, an unsustainable rise in immigration in Canada since 2021. It's a shocking rise. Let's see if I can include this. So there's clearly something going on that has to be addressed, at least in a more reliable way. Like there has to be more of a process. And Trudeau has realized this a little bit too late, I think. Because Trudeau just announced sharp cuts to Canada's immigration targets, realizing politically it's kind of killing him. But this guy's, as far as I can tell, again, I have no comment on Canadian politics. All I know is that it seems to me, from my understanding, he's doomed. Bro's doomed. Bro is doomed. Again, you can see here, issues facing Canada. 5% of Canadians cared about immigration in 2022. Now 21% do. It's been a quadrupling. It's been quadrupling. There's clearly a recent spike causing a recent issue. It's not like a long-term Canadian thing they cared about. For the first time in 25 years, Canadians say there's too much immigration. And I think, again, if you drill down into it, my core theory of everything is that a lot of this comes down to housing. Canadians are so pissed about housing, and they think, and rightly so, there is a connection. A million new people coming into the country does raise housing prices, especially when it happens so quickly. So housing is the problem. Like the core problem is that if people cannot find an affordable place to live, they get angrier and angrier about everything. And that is what's happening in Canada. And you're seeing, I mean, I just saw, this is insane. There's a rise in fuck Trudeau Canada flags. Canadians, tell me if these are like appearing where you see. I thought Canada was too polite for this. But apparently they're everywhere. Apparently they are fucking everywhere. As I was researching, I saw these all over. It's shocking. However, I think there may be a solution here. Some Canadians are a little bit more entrepreneurial, okay? Rather than getting mad at their government or getting mad about immigration, some Canadians are taking their financial situation in their own hands. Here's a true blue Canadian, an Olympian, in fact. This guy's name is Ryan Wedding, and he's a born and bred Canadian athlete who got a medal in the Salt Lake Olympics, a snowboarder, okay? Snow sports, true Canadian. He has figured out how to make a little bit of scratch on the side, and that is to get a bunch of cocaine in Southern California and smuggle it up to Canada. 4 decades. 4 decades. This former Olympian, Ryan Wedding, by the way, hairline is real slope as well, has been running a long-running Canadian drug lord operation, which involved him ordering like 30 murders within Canada and smuggling, multiple millions of pounds of cocaine. The federal investigation, which they named after where the event that he got his medal in, caught 1,800 kilograms of cocaine, guns, $250K in cash, and $3.2 million in crypto. Finally been caught and brought to justice. Look at all these slopes, dude. They're real snow. However, you can't talk about Canada without realizing that there's like an inverted Canada in this world. There is a country that took Canada and flipped it upside down and made it warmer. And that is, of course, Australia. And a segment we call G'day Canberra, which is the capital of Australia, if you didn't know. I certainly didn't. G'day Canberra. That's what's going on in Australia. And it may shock you to find out that when you research problems and economic issues in Australia, you find out that it's literally exactly like Canada. They are both dealing with the same issues in different corners of the earth. But one thing I noticed is that they have this very cool looking, beautiful currency. Now, obviously, as an American, any currency that's so brightly colored, I recognize as like Monopoly bucks. It's not real. It's kind of goofy, right? It's like It's like joke money. You're not going to actually spend it on real things. And I can prove that by telling you that if you were to somehow get 2 million of these things, you couldn't buy this. So how can it be real money? How can this be real money? You have 2 million of them and you can't buy this? No, I don't think so. That's obviously fake. However, they do have a real currency in Australia, and it's called Bluey Bucks. Bluey Bucks, because there is one real economic engine in Australia, and that's Bluey. Bluey's an incredible export for the country, extremely powerful. And recently they announced these, Bluey Dollar Bucks are called. Bluey Dollar Bucks, seen here. The Australian government officially released actual Bluey Dollar Bucks into the economy. These are real things, and ideally they're supposed to be worth at least $1 You buy this, it's worth $1 However, $1 is worthless, so people realize the Bluey Bucks are worth way more. In fact, the Bluey Dollar Bucks are worth as much as 10 times the face value, because everyone wants the actual Bluey Bucks. They are actually more valuable than the paper currency of the country. This has led to a weird arbitrage opportunity where people that can get their hands on these have got enormous value in their hands, which has led to a rise in theft. So there were employees of the warehouses where these were kept who stole 40,000 Bluey coins and were finally brought to justice. Thank God the Australian economy is saved. Thank God. Bandits. Literal bandits. The Australian economy is saved. They have gotten their 40,000 Bluey Bucks back. I'm sure they'll be able to afford things like, for example, a military. You see, if you want to make money in Australia, one way to do it now is to join the Australian military, which is now so desperate for people to join. It is offering $40,000 to $50,000 cash bonuses, or basically 5 Bluey Bucks, to get people to join, as Australia senses a need for a greater military in an increasingly polarized world. You see, Australia is part of an organization called AUKUS, which is Great Britain, America, and Australia. These guys have the same fucking flag. Great Britain, Australia, and America, who are part of a defensive pact that is largely designed to, I don't know how to say it politely, but like to use Australia as a gigantic floating aircraft carrier and base to contain China. Basically to fuck with China. Let's be real. That's why it exists. And as tensions around Taiwan and in North Korea heat up, Australia's importance to AUKUS is greater than ever. And so Australia is spending budget it doesn't really have to grow its military. But if you're an Australian citizen, great time to get that 40K bonus. At the same time, Australia is also spending I don't remember. I think it was $389 million to buy British and American nuclear submarines. Careful with those, Australia. We don't need you to. If Australia starts World War III, we're fucked. If Australia ends up starting it, we're fucked. Oh, sorry, 361 billion. Did I say million? 361 billion. I'm sorry. $361 billion on nuclear submarines. Keep those safe. Don't let the kangaroos drive those. Okay? Outside of Australia and Canada and the UK and the US, we need to go to some continents we don't talk about nearly as much. Let's get over to Africa. Specifically, a section I'm calling Can You Believe It? Can you believe it? What's going on in the heart of Africa? Couple stories that need to be discussed here. Can you believe it? This is a flag protest going on in Kenya. What you might not know about Kenya, and this applies to many of the countries in Africa, is that they're very young. The median age in Kenya is 20 years old. Now, that might not sound so crazy. Maybe you think that's normal. It's not. In Germany, the median age is 44. In Canada, it's 42. In China, it's like 50. In Japan, it's probably like 78. Japan's really old. I'm not sure. again, most of these countries that industrialized first are now having elderly populations. Our birth rate replacement has dropped dramatically. Countries in Africa don't have that problem. They have a primarily young population. And so Kenya has a large youth population that is chafing against demands of its elderly leaders. And in Kenya, there has been a rise in taxes that are a heavy burden on a, frankly, pretty poor young. The younger people of Kenya are getting taxed ever more to pay for government expenditures that is ran by older people. And so the unique thing happening in Kenya is that in Kenya, you are not allowed to display the flag unless you are part of the government. It's not like, here we have flags everywhere. We play with flags all the time. But in Kenya, waving the flag, it can be a crime. You can't do that. And so now the flag has become a symbol of like resistance against the government itself. Or is it like people are waving the flag, like walking around with the flag as a symbol of resistance? And there's mass protests over these rising taxes. Again, we've talked about this. This wasn't Kenya, but a similar thing, I believe, in Nigeria, where the government is spending on a fleet of like 10 private planes for the president in a country that has a budget that's like, 1/10,000,000th of America's, has 10x the planes for its president. They're just spending too much on the government is clearly extracting wealth from its citizenry for personal gain for the leadership. It's corruption. And so we're seeing a rise of protests where a primarily young audience is waving their own flag as defense. Now, there was good, I didn't want to only talk about negative stuff coming out of Africa. There was an interesting study I found while researching Kenya. This is a family of elephants in Kenya. And as Kenya has been growing, again, the population has been growing, the cities have been growing, there's been more industrialization. Farmers have been pushing into the land that elephants normally roam around to. And it's causing real problems, okay? This family of elephants often can find themselves inadvertently stomping over crops, causing big human-elephant conflict. And the normal way to stop this was for Kenyan farmers to put up really expensive electric fences that can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, obviously in Kenya, you can't really afford to have $100,000 electrified fences. It didn't really work. Not only do these harm the animals, but they don't work. Often the elephant would break through anyway and then stomp the crops. It was a loss. So over recent years, different ideas have been discussed. And recently a study came out just a week ago that proved that one idea has been taking off among all else. This is a beehive. And it turns out if you put a chain of beehives around your farm, not only can you get money from harvesting the honey, but the elephants just naturally avoid the scent and smell of the bees. So there's been a massive rise in these successful beehive farms that, number one, have reduced elephant-human conflict. Number two, led to more revenue for the farmers who couldn't afford the fences. And number three, saved the crops. It's been remarkably successful. Like there's a longitudinal study by Oxford, and they found out that it was like a big success, like 89% reduction in human-elephant conflict. Highly effective. This is from October 31st. So that was a pretty cool piece of news. I thought that was pretty interesting. And outside of Africa, we can go to South America. Now, South America has an absolute incredible number of stories to cover, and I didn't know which ones to take on, and we're already at a really long presentation here. So I thought I would just give a brief update on a guy we've discussed many, many times, Javier Milei in Argentina. And the main news about him is that he has still continued, after over a year in office, to not have one photo where he doesn't look crazy. Not one photo can I find of Javier Milei where he doesn't look absolutely insane. He is the president of Argentina, who surprisingly was swept to power on a promise of taking a literal chainsaw to the government budget, to trying to balance the budget, stop money printing, and return the country to prosperity. Now, I read a very fascinating article called "Can Milei Defuse Argentina's Economic Time Bomb?" By the way, this picture does not break the rule. Does not break the rule. I read a fascinating article, and I want to give you the very high-level summary here. Here's this. Milei has done a pretty good job of getting the budget balanced in Argentina. It is now, they have their first surplus in like decades. And inflation has come down. I mean, similar to other countries, it has stopped rising so much. It is now flat. However, because he has cut the government spending so much and so fast, poverty has risen dramatically. So only his unique, any other leader would have been thrown out by now just because of the shock effect. But he is so, I don't know, animated. His like antics have gotten people to be on his side, even as the austerity measures would normally get him thrown out. Yeah, I don't know. It could be charismatic. It could be goofy. Depends on your opinion. So he is currently sitting at like a 40% approval rating, enough to keep going. And it remains to be seen. If he can hold on to this, it's possible there can be a turnaround. Again, Argentina is going through shock therapy right now. But if not, as people get madder and madder and don't want to wait any longer, he could easily lose any right to power and get thrown out. It's a real balancing act. I am watching it fascinatingly because no other country has tried this on such a scale, to try and forcefully and quickly cut off all subsidies and balance the budget. I don't know. It's interesting. So we're going to watch more, but I want to give you a quick update. Now, in the Middle East, I want to do a Salam Alaikum Riyadh over in Saudi Arabia. Okay? Now, Saudi, again, there's a lot to talk about in a lot of countries, but one interesting thing that's going on in Riyadh is that you guys know about the line, right? They're going to spend an untold number of billions of dollars to make a gigantic, long mega city and, crush millions of workers dying to create it. I think 20,000 workers have died creating it, working insane hours. They're busing them in from other countries, and yeah, disaster. Well, and so far, not really much has been built. It's been engineering and technical nightmare. People have been dying building it, and it's cost absurd amount of money. It's just an absurd amount of oil money being thrown at this project. Terrible. So what is Riyadh going to do to get back on track? How about build another gigantic, stupid building at the same time? As construction begins on Muqab, a giant cube, the world's largest building in human history. They have a gigantic line, and now a gigantic cube has just begun. This is a render of what it'll look like. Again, I hate to be a Debbie Downer here, but there's a very real chance none of this stuff finishes. It's all absurdly astronomically expensive and has like, insanely horrendous conditions trying to even get it started. This is what it'll look like on the skyline. We'll see how it all adds up. This is the cube. The answer to the American sphere, the Vegas sphere. The next one's a triangle. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, as we've been on our tour around the world, you notice we've talked about this guy, but not the man next to him. We've talked about this guy, but not the man next to him. And we can't be doing a World News Marketing Monday without the main event. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's do our favorite global segment, What's Up, Beijing? What's up, Beijing? Let's take ourselves over to China, the Far East. Again, if there is one country possibly outside of America, if there is one country that is impacting and shifting global events right now, it is China. How China interacts with its allies, its enemies, and the rest of the world is going to shape the next 10 years. It is the most important story in what's going on in the world. And a lot of things we're talking about previously all connect back into China. But first, I want to show you a random American white guy. This guy is shockingly important to what's going on in China. His name is Jim Farley, and he is the CEO of Ford. Recently, without thinking anyone was really listening, he went on a very small car podcast and said some words that actually had enormous impact.
So you're exactly what you said. It's like everyone's talking about the Apple car, but the Xiaomi car,
which now exists and is on the road.
Which now exists.
Tens of thousands.
And it's fantastic. They sell 10,000, 20,000 a month. They're sold out for 6 months.
Wow.
You know, that is an industry juggernaut and a consumer brand that is much stronger than car companies. I don't like talking about the competition so much, but I drive the Xiaomi. We flew one from Shanghai to Chicago, and I've been driving it for 6 months now, and I don't want to give it up.
Right. Wow. That's extraordinary.
You see how shocked he is? You see how shocked he is? Jim Farley, the CEO of an American car company, one of the longest running one, has said, hey, I flew in a Xiaomi SU7. I've been driving it. It's fucking great. Now, he didn't think it was that big of a deal, but that sent huge impacts throughout the world. This guy was shocked to hear it. The comments were crazy. Holy crap, for the CEO of Ford to say he's been driving a Chinese EV for the last 6 months and doesn't want to give it up is just jaw-dropping. It is jaw-dropping. It's insane. And, you know, it was printed and reprint, talked about in all these different magazines and car discussion areas, and leads to a big area because I can't overstate enough how batteries and electric vehicles have become such a sticking point between China and the rest of the world. It has been such a push and pull, power struggle. China's rise in capabilities in making EVs has caused so much tension with other car manufacturing countries. We're seeing rises in tariffs, not only in America, but in Europe. Just a few days ago, levied massive tariffs against Chinese EVs. Canada just put out 100% tariff on Chinese EVs. Countries that are within, you could say maybe the American side versus the Chinese side, are putting big tariffs on Chinese EVs to try and slow them down. And China is finally responding. So immediately, China has now started to say, hey, pause all investment in any countries that voted for the EV tariffs. They're trying to punish the countries that have done that. For example, they've picked pork and alcohol. Two things that are big in like Spain, France, Italy. All these exports that go to China from these countries, they're now putting tariffs on them. China's putting penalizing tariffs, striking back at the car tariffs. There is now a trade war becoming openly hostile around Chinese EVs. And again, if you look at these French companies that sell alcohol, they're begging for the tariffs to stop. They're begging because so much of their alcohol is sold in China. It is basically a trade war. It's a trade war that is starting to tit for tat get more hostile. But the main reason Chinese EVs can be sold at a lower cost is because they have an excellent battery supply chain. Most of the great electric batteries of the world are made in China. China has a huge lead in batteries more than anything else. Huge battery manufacturing capacity. Now, in EVs, that's one thing, because at the end of the day, you can throw a tariff on it. You don't have a Chinese EV, it's fine. You pay a little bit more for your local EVs. But batteries have another use, and that is in these things, okay? Because as Ukraine has proven, the future of war relies on these drones. Drones have become the future of war. The Ukraine war is the first, modern technology war with enough budget being thrown at it. And people are realizing the power of drones. Drones have become essential to both sides in the Ukraine-Russia war. And the batteries for these drones are made in China almost exclusively. So the supply chain for getting drones comes through China. Ukraine, for example, is fighting Russia, a China ally, by buying drones from China. They're buying batteries from China that go into American drones that are sold to Ukraine that are then used to fight. The supply chain goes through China. And China has realized this and is now flexing its power over batteries. This is where it's getting interesting, because China has now sanctioned the US drone maker that is buying Chinese batteries. And now Ukraine can't get the drones they need to keep up the fight. This is where we're now getting into the real part. This is where the real implications of all the battery power being in China become a problem. Again, sorry, they just stopped the batteries at first, but then the US drone maker said they're going to start selling drones to Taiwan, and that is when China blocked them altogether. So now Skydio, which is one of the largest drone producers in America, cannot get batteries. They just can't get them. They are currently scrambling to try and find batteries for the drones they want to sell, which is becoming a real problem. So now there's like an entire government push to try and find a way to get battery production back in America so that we can make the drones so we can have the war. What I'm saying is all of this stuff across all of these countries is connected. Things that happen in one country affect another, and they lead for tit-for-tat retaliations. And we are starting to see that start to spiral. We are seeing the later stages of where, we had many years where it seemed like both sides could win, where the pie could just grow and we are now in the era where everyone's like, no, this is my slice. This is for me. My win comes at your expense. And we're having a real problem. Now, someone in chat said, just Timo it, which is the perfect fucking thing for you to say. I am so glad you said this. Can I pull it on screen? Just Temo it. Just Temo it is the perfect thing for you to say. Brings me to the next slide. Amazon and Temu. Because we are seeing some interesting trade evolution there as well. You guys know there is a holy war between Amazon and Temu for American consumers. The greatest consumers on earth will go into debt to buy. We love to buy. There is a holy war between these two countries to try and get your dollar. If you're an American consumer, trying to get your dollar. And there's been a unique pattern that has emerged where people have realized that the same products are being sold on both websites because they're all made in the same Chinese factory. So you might find, like, for example, this jewelry box for $2 on Temu. You might find it for $6 on Amazon, and you might find it for $20 on Instagram Reels. And it's all the same thing, okay? It's all the same product. But I have got a certain hot tip for Marketing Monday viewers to make you a little bit of money from this unique opportunity, which is that if you were to want to buy something like this, you may have to have a toss-up, because if you buy from Amazon, it's more reliably delivered to you and faster, and they have better return policies. But Temu is cheaper. What people are doing is they simply buy the same item twice. They buy it for $9 on Amazon and $16 on Temu. Then they get this one first and enjoy it. Then this one arrives and they return it to Amazon, getting $90 back, which means they get which means they are getting the delivery and speed of Amazon, but with the product price of Temu. Now, you have about, I don't know, a week from when this is uploaded before they patch this out, I'm sure. But for now, it's the most insane tech, dude. For now, it's the most insane scam tech. And that is a free that is a free tip to you. Finally, I want to talk about this guy, the man of the hour, Xi Jinping. What he says and does, probably more than any other person, is going to influence how the next 10 years of geopolitics will go. He is incredibly influential as the undisputed de facto lifetime leader of the world's second largest economy. It's incredibly important the way he leans and how he sees the future. So I've been reading so many Xi Jinping books. And what I want to tell you is, we've talked about this. China is going through a real estate crisis, a slow-moving real estate crisis that continues to weigh on especially millennials and Gen Z. I won't say, I think people overstate this as like China's doomed in 30 days or whatever. That's not what's happening, but it is kind of like 2007, 2008 in America, where it's a serious economic hit, especially hitting younger people, okay? Now, what's unique about China is that this guy has all the power. In every other country we mentioned, they're having problems with young people and housing and inflation and the economy. And what they're doing is they're voting out the incumbent. If you don't like Harris, you vote Trump. If you don't like Trump, you vote Harris. You know what I'm saying? You throw out the other side. In China, there's no one else to blame. It's a two-sided coin. He has all the power, but nobody else to blame. So it's leading to a unique problem, and it's affecting Xi Jinping's personality cult, okay? We are seeing not massive, but noticeable rises in protests and unrest because there is nowhere else for them to direct their anger. When they are mad, they are mad at the party because the party has all the power. Now, this is not going to lead to the removal of Xi Jinping or anything, but what I'm saying is there's unrest. And the last time we had this level of unrest was during the COVID lockdowns in China. That is the first time we saw mass open protests. People got so fed up with it. That was the last time Xi Jinping felt like he was like fallible. And we are seeing a rise of similar type situations as the housing bubble unwinds, especially among young people, millennials and Gen Z in major cities who, you know, bought prepaid apartments that aren't built or saw the value of their house go down. They're just mad, right? So two things are happening. One is that America, which never fails to see an opportunity to meddle, is having the CIA boost China recruiting. Instead of just letting it be a self-own, they are trying to get involved, I guess. Taking advantage of increased discontent with Xi Jinping. CIA is trying to recruit additional spies. But the second effect is that to maintain order, if you're the only party, you have to do additional levels of crackdown because you can't just blame it on the other party. And so we're seeing things like when people do costumes, you know, making fun of the Chinese COVID lockdowns, they get arrested. We are seeing crackdowns on costumes that are like anti-government. We're seeing especially a rise in crackdowns on, imagine this. Imagine if the American government started cracking down on kids saying skibbity toilet. Why would you say they're doing that? Now, one reason could be because it's annoying. One reason could be because the elder generation that run the government don't like it because they don't understand it.
Nano-hydroxyapatite. It cleans deeper than anything we've ever used. It prevents...
I'm getting a fucking ad. Why am I getting an ad? From where? What the hell? I'm getting an ad from, I don't know. Well, it's not helping that I have this, oh, it's, it was from that Starbucks article about the coffee. That'll do it. That'll do it. Wait, hold on. Let me go back. Let me fucking go back. All right. Wait. So we're seeing, sorry. We're seeing crackdowns on costumes, but more importantly, we're seeing crackdowns on slang, okay? Recently, they launched the Clear and Bright campaign, which is targeting irregular and uncivilized language. By the way, we found the actual press release from Chinese state media and had Stefik translate it. It truly is, It's called the Clear and Bright campaign, and it's about stopping annoying online slang from young people. It literally is considered like the Chinese equivalent of Skibbity Toilet. Some of these are so weird they're untranslatable, but I'll try and give you the key ones, the ones you might understand. Some of it is because elderly people in China, God damn it, I'm getting ads again. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back. Some of it is because elderly people in China feel annoyed and out of touch with it, okay? For example, here's slang. YYDS is slang for goat in China. Basically means goated. If you say you're YYDS, you're goated, okay? They don't understand that. And if you know what that means, congratulations, you're probably a young, high-frequency internet user. If it leaves you feeling confused, then admit it, you're probably over the hill and out of touch. Chinese censors don't like that. They don't like feeling over the hill and out of touch. So there's crackdowns, okay? But more importantly, are the crackdowns on things like slang like leeks. So leeks are this vegetable you can pull out of the ground. People say when I feel like a leek, it's like they're being harvested by the government or big business for a greater purpose. They can't live their lives. They're being pulled out of the ground and yanked and told to go work hard 996 or do whatever. Leeks is a way of expressing discontent with being young in this system, okay? Similarly, the idea of lying flat. The lying flat slang is like, I am so fed up with working this hard to try and get an expensive house in a big city. I'm gonna lie flat. That's a slang that gets thrown around. This one is if you use banana peel, I don't know how to pronounce this, but it sounds like Xi Jinping. So banana peel has become slang for Xi Jinping, and then shrimp moss means step down. So if you're mad about Xi Jinping, you do banana peel plus shrimp moss. And it's a way to get around the censors and say, basically, I want Xi Jinping to step down. That one is being cracked down on. And when, this is XSWL, which basically means it's like our equivalent of idgeball or laughing out loud. I don't know, it translates something, but it basically means I'm laughing very loud. All of these are being cracked down upon, and the way they're being done is what they call harmonizing, okay? When a censor finds an irregular phrase, they eliminate it, they delete it, and they call it harmonizing. However, in response, the online community of young people have made a slang for harmony called river crabbing, because the word for river crab sounds like harmony. So if you get your slang deleted, it's called I got river crabbed. The chat's getting crazy. So I don't know what to think about this. It seems a little heavy-handed, and it seems like it's gonna be an impossible game of whack-a-mole to try and crack down on this discontent. But until they have a viable alternative, people are going to complain about the only party in power, and so they have to keep dealing with the crackdowns. All I know is, as much as I have many problems in my country, I will take to arms if any president ever tries to crack down on the Rizzler. If they ever try to lock up the Rizzler or stop me from saying it, I'm taking up arms. Amen, and thanks for watching this global edition of Marketing Monday. Yeah! News from around the globe. I hope you enjoyed. I can answer any questions. We had to cut a lot. I mean, that was already, I felt like I was running out of breath. But I hope you enjoyed. We got some cool, interesting ones. Can you show what you cut? Some of that I'm going to use for later on Marketing Mondays. Like, I have a lot about India I wanted to include, but I think it'll be a whole separate thing. By the way, if you enjoyed that Marketing Monday, check out Nortel merch at failedco's.co. Nothing cooler than walking around with a great corporate fraud on your person. Failedco's.co. It is interesting. By the time that video comes up, we will know who has won the election. Tomorrow is all about the election. And I do, on a more serious note, obviously I try to include some funny stories in there, but I am seriously noticing a rise in unrest worldwide. And if you dig even slightly under the surface, people are mad everywhere, and it's not like normal. It's not normal. It is not like everyone's always mad a little bit. People are getting madder, and it's in like every country. You'll notice it. And so I really hope that, whoever wins tomorrow, that they're thinking about these problems in a real way. America needs good leadership, bro. It's I don't know. I'm just I'm trying to be hopeful. Do you know anything about the Georgian and Azerbaijan elections? I don't. Azerbaijani elections? I don't. I didn't see it. Oh, I did. Oh, here's one I cut that I want to talk about. It's actually really important. This same thing I've been talking about with the incumbents losing just happened in Japan in an insane way. The Japan ruling party lost an election for the first time in like 20 years. Even Japan, which is like a high trust, low conflict society with, lower cost of housing. Even Japan, there's so much unrest. People are like, they want to throw out the leaders because inflation, because they're seeing the price of goods rise. Even in Japan, which has had no inflation forever, is finally getting inflation. People are mad about it because the yen keeps getting weaker. People are getting upset. So Japan is having like a real issue. And hopefully the new party in power can change it. I don't see how they can, though. There's so much government debt. Shuck, you gotta give the 40 months. Do you feel the increase in trip channel will political instability? I feel like that. I am of 100% of the opinion there will be no revolution in China and no collapse in China. I just want you to know that. Just know that going in. I'm currently reading 2 books on China. I'm really trying to understand it more. I want to do one big presentation. There's so much to say. I want to call it the Tale of 3 Chinas. I think people look at China, see so many different things and make their own narrative based on things that are all true, but all true at the same time. Like if you looked only at EVs, you might be like, okay, China is thriving and dominating Western competition in manufacturing. They're way ahead. And you'd be right on that front. If you looked at real estate prices in major cities, you'd be like, wow, China's collapsing. They have millennials that are completely underwater financially. And you'd be right. If you looked at, I don't know, construction of high-speed rail, you'd be like, wow, they're fucking thriving. If you looked at the cost of the high-speed rail, you'd be like, they're collapsing. You'd be right on all of these. All of this stuff is true, but it's all in the same spot. And so there's like, I think 3 different Chinas that people only look at one and they make up their mind. And I want to try and put them all together and show you it's a complicated country. So I don't think anything like that is happening, but I do think, China has a problem of they had 40 years of growth. And when you have 40 years of growth, your government can do whatever the fuck it wants. People are happy. People are fucking happy with their government if you have 40 years of growth. They don't care about if they can vote a different party in or whatever. They don't care. But when the growth slows down is when more unrest appears and you have to start doing things that are like for your constituency. So yeah, I think there's going to be some issues, but I don't think revolution or collapse are either in the cards. Will there be an election stream? Yeah, election stream tomorrow. Will you do a segment on Mexico in the future? Yeah, but the problem with Mexico, and I hate to say this, my wife is Mexican, her family's Mexican, We've been to Mexico. I'm going to Mexico over the holidays. I love Mexico, but it feels. How do I say this? I feel like I'm doing Mexico a disservice, but every time I talk about it, talking about cartels and the drug war, but also you can't talk about Mexico without mentioning that. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. If I talk about Mexico and don't mention that, I feel like I'm being wrong because it's so impactful. But when you do talk about it, it's like you're perpetuating this. I don't know. It's something I don't know how to fucking handle. So it's tough, but it's something I'm thinking about. I mean, because politicians are getting murdered all the time in Mexico. And so if you ignore it, you're basically whitewashing it. And if you only talk about it, then it's a problem. So I guess I just need more nuance. I need more understanding. Why isn't this a problem in other places? Well, Mexico is uniquely dominated by drug cartels because of its proximity to the United States, which is the biggest drug buyer. America loves buying drugs, so Mexico has developed a cartel state to supply the drugs. There's so much money in it that they have so much power that they can stand up to the government. Thoughts on the BRICS summit? It was less eventful than I thought. Not that much of amazing announcements. It is clear that the BRICS countries are trying to set up a payment system to where if let's say I'm South Africa and I want to buy a bunch of goods from China. Okay? Well, or actually maybe better ideas like Russia, right? If I'm Russia, what is BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It's just a group of countries that are kind of out of the Western system, but are all growing. They have big economies. They're not even all necessarily friends, but they have economic interests that align, and they all want more power in the global system. You know, because the way everything's set up right now with NATO and the G7 is like, if you weren't a big dog at the end of World War II, you don't have a big say nowadays. I don't know how to describe it. If you were not one of the big winners of World War II, then you are kind of locked out of having a big say in the global system. So they have a real concern on that front to like, hey, we're big fucking economies. We want to have is sort of the idea. Anyway, what happened was, if I can show you this, I got paint or something. Everybody uses the fucking dollar, all right? The dollar is goated. The greenback. Why can't I? Oh, left click. The greenback. Yeah, baby. It's so pog. We love the dollar. And there's many, many reasons for this. One of the greatest ones being, it's self-perpetuating. Everyone trades in the dollars, so the dollar is a great thing to have because you could use it to buy a lot of things, and it makes it easier to trade, so you want more dollars, and it's self-perpetuating. The euro, people are going to say the petrodollar. It's actually, that's changing in recent years. So I don't even want to talk about that as the real core reason, but it's important. It's great, right? Until very recently, during the Russia-Ukraine situation, the United States crossed a line that they had not crossed before, which is they took all of the Russian foreign reserves and sanctioned them, confiscated them. They confiscated Russia's dollars, essentially. Okay? Now, once they did that, it sent a message that, hey, almost every country, even American allies, are now thinking like, oh, wow, what if I'm ever on America's bad side? I could lose all my money. Like this was a big decision. It wasn't like realistically, even in a war, they probably shouldn't have done this. This sent a really bad message. If, I'm not saying this will happen, but if the dollar ever loses reserve currency status, it'll be because of this decision. Because once this happened, so many countries stopped putting as much of their excess money into dollars and instead into gold. If you look at the gold price, so much of that is driven by the fact that central banks have started buying gold way more than ever before. Way more. So I will say, like, this is an interesting point. And let's kick off the thing. So BRICS is about this. And what they're trying to do with BRICS is just have, like, if China wants to trade with Russia, I can't really draw China, but let's say this is China. Dude, why can't I this is China and this is Russia. Russia gives oil, China gives goods, and whatever's left over, whatever doesn't add up, they settle in gold. Oh, you can't see it, my bad. Well, it's not a very good graph anyway. Because there's no possible way that BRICS can make an actual currency anyone will use. But they're trying to find a way where they're not going to use currency at all. That's the thing I've been trying to read more about. Because if you tell someone that the dollar won't be the reserve currency, they'll say, what will be? And all the options are bad. The euro's worse. Chinese RMB is worse. The yen is worse. Like, there's no other currency that could replace the dollar, of course. The argument that is now being made is they're not going to have a currency at all. They're going to do trade for trade and settle the rest in gold. That's the idea. Or bluey bucks. And I mean, there is a real trend there. The dollar is still the dominant currency, but central banks have been, when they have money left over, they're not keeping it in dollars. They're not buying US treasuries. They're buying gold. So it's definitely interesting. Whose smart idea was it to pull Russian dollar reserves? That's a great question. I'm not sure the brainchild behind it, but it is, the argument will be it's for the war effort. But I will say it was a risk. I mean, it was a big step, and a lot of countries understandably got spooked because, like, let's say you're like, trying to think of someone who's like kind of a U.S. ally. India is a great example. India, you're friendly with the U.S., right? You're friendly with the U.S., but like you might not always be friendly with the U.S. You're not like the closest best buddies forever locked in for life. And if you're India and you're like, wow, we have all of this money from trade with the United States. We have all these dollars. Normally we take these dollars and we buy American treasuries. We recycle it back into dollars. But like, that's scary because they can freeze that at any time, as they've proven with Russia. If we ever are on the bad side, they have all this power over us. So instead, they take the money and they buy gold. And that is what's happening. It's happening right now. It's confirmed. Central bank gold reserves have been rising, right? So that's the interesting part. Please give me one positive global policy stuff. Yeah. That's kind of an unfair question because global policy is not usually, doesn't even come up unless it's negative. Do you know what I'm saying? Global policy is like defense pacts, trade wars. It's not what's going to come up that's going to be, it's not like a, yeah, Mudang is cute. Oh, panda diplomacy, if you want something smaller. China sent pandas back to the United States. That's good. I said the bees thing. Oh, You know what was an interesting story? This is kind of good news, but also a little scary. But I think overall good news. This was interesting. So TSMC, the big chip production company in Taiwan, set up a factory in Arizona. And everyone thought, well, it's not going to work, right? Because even they said we have a hard time finding talent in Arizona. Well, recently, the first batch, again, these are not like the tiniest, best chips, but the first batch of chips came out, and they had yields that were higher than the ones in Taiwan. It was like, shockingly, they did pretty good. Now, on the one hand, this could mean less chance of World War III, right? Because Taiwan is no longer so fucking desperately important for all nations that any act there would lead to tit for tat, nuclear war or whatever. But on the other hand, it also means that Taiwan is less safe. You know, because like now they're less likely to be defended by other countries because if they can, you know, it's a weird tit for tat. However, I do think on the whole, making Taiwan less of a key man for world events is just probably a good thing. For at the end of the day, I just don't want the world to fucking go to World War III over Taiwan. So it's pretty interesting, pretty good, but it is, it was a shocking result because I remember the TSMC CEO saying, we can't find good talent in America. We can't get this Arizona chip up and running, but it's starting to work. It's also good because it puts competition on Intel. I'm so annoyed with Intel being such a clusterfuck failure that it'd be nice if this took off. And I think TSMC had American production facilities. It'd be awesome. All day coverage tomorrow? Yeah, I'm going to be live most of tomorrow after I vote. You voted, you live in Canada. You committed voter fraud, Aspecticor? Imagine Trudeau wins the American election. Aspecticor stuffed so many ballot boxes, Trudeau leaves Canada and comes down here. What if we swap leaders for a month? Dude, it would be so funny to have like a Freaky Friday movie about two leaders swapping for a month. Where they learn that, you know, it's like Putin and Biden. And Putin's like, oh, you think it's so easy running Russia? You think it's so easy just to not kill oligarchs? Push them out windows? And then Biden, yeah, all right, Jack, you wouldn't last a minute in my shoes. And they Freaky Friday swap for a month. Let's see you take a crack at it, smart guy. Yeah, and they end with them kissing. It ends with them kissing as the missiles launch from each country into nuclear war, and it ends the world. And they kiss in front of the fucking storm clouds. Thoughts on Mark Cuban? He's dead to me. Mark Cuban dissed Lena Khan. He's fucking dead to me. Rest in piss. What did he say? He would fire her. He wanted her fired. He wanted her out. Um, you see Vance, he liked the ghoul suit? Yeah, I did. I mentioned that in my Vance Big A clip. The thing I liked about him when he was first announced was that he was the only person I've ever seen in the Republican side who was complimentary of Lena Khan. But they'd still remove her if they came into power. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a big fucking day, folks. Tomorrow's going to be a big fucking day. By God. Get your 6-packs ready, Americans. 6-packs and a burger. 6-packs, a burger, and we're gonna watch some crazy election, and then we're gonna storm the Capitol. We're gonna storm the Capitol. It's gonna be wild. What is this? It's Jover Sag from Yeti. Oh no. Jim Cramer says Wall Street investors are anticipating a Kamala Harris win. Jim Cramer, you might have just doomed it. Jim, stay out of this. Jim, we don't need to weigh in on this. Canadian immigration plus 100,000. Oh no, Jake Paul endorsed Trump? Oh, that's gonna push him over the edge. Oh my God, Nate Silver. We ran 80,000 simulations tonight. Harris won in 40,012. This is fucking Doctor Strange levels of of fucking coin flip, dude. We're getting the... Oh my God. It's gonna be like the recount. It's gonna be like the Bush Gore fucking Florida hanging Chad recounts. It's gonna be so close. Or a sweep, to be honest. I don't know. Dude, I've seen convincing stuff from both sides that imply that they have a sweep. Not just like partisan. I mean, it's partisan, but I've seen convincing stuff from both sides that like, no, this is based on this, and this, it's a sweep. And so it's like, this is a fucking wild election, bro. I can't imagine how it's going to go tomorrow. I think you can imagine. Chess.com is asking how I can imagine, or just chess. Thanks, Chess. Maybe one of them will pull a gambit. Yeah, we'll see. If it's Italia, they have to duel. If it's Italia, they play World's Greatest Gamer rules. They do Bomberman and shit. When will it be called? I don't know. I mean, there's a bet on it. I saw a bet on what day it'll actually be called. Because it could be a lot of controversy. Dude, I don't know. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. It's going to be fucking crazy. I could seriously see any outcome happening. I could see any outcome happening, and it wouldn't be that surprising. Like, if you were to tell me Kamala has a omega sweep, women voted at higher rates, they just crush. It's fucking 3 houses. I'd be like, yeah, that could happen. But if you could tell me that, you know, Kamala edges the popular, but loses most of the swing states and Trump wins, that wouldn't surprise me. If you, I don't know how it's all going to interplay. Edges. I guess it would surprise me if Joe Biden won. If everybody wrote in Joe Biden and he walks out in sunglasses eating a fucking ice cream cone and he wins, that would surprise me. That would surprise me. Is there stuff to read? I wanna like, let's see. Yeah, I mean, these all look so close, dude. There was a guy, though. There was a guy. I want to show you this. There was a guy that, what was his name? This is it. Okay. This guy. Dude, this guy back in July made this tweet. 6-way parlay. This is Nancy Pelosi on the phone. 6-way parlay. I want Biden step down on Sunday. I want Kamala at the convention. I want Trump, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Kamala electoral, Kamala popular. Read it back to me. He made this post before Biden stepped down. And so far, all of this stuff has started coming true. If this ends up happening, it'll be the most unreal. This is before Biden stepped down. This will be the most unreal. Uncut gems level fucking parlay. When will you start stream for tomorrow for the election? I don't know. I'm going to vote. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to vote. I'm going to eat some delicious food at my cafe. I'm going to read my FT, and then I'm going to go live. That's my plan. So, I don't know. But then I'll be live all day. I'll be live all day. Holy shit. Logan Paul called out Ludwig for claiming he doesn't drink Prime? You tell him, Logan. I personally have seen Ludwig just absolutely guzzle Prime. We were playing basketball the other day. He went through like 6 or 7 bottles. He said, I love Prime. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, he had, you know what he does? I shouldn't repeat this, but I mean, truth telling is important to me. He puts a funnel in his mouth and he says, Prime me. You can't even hear it because it's like through the funnel. Prime me. And then he has all of us stand around and pour Prime into the funnel. And then he just guzzles it right up. And then he oinks. He says, I'm the little Prime piggy. Oh, I misread it? Oh, I shouldn't have revealed all that then. They're talking about Logan Paul not drinking Prime. I should not have revealed that Prime piggy thing then. I feel way bad. Wow, that was on me. Yikes. 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 I hate that I let that out. But that's all true. It's all true. That is all true. Did the Rizzler endorse anybody? I mean, I think the Rizzler knows his power. Oh, this is interesting. I want to read this. This is like the same thing we're talking about with the guns and butter, but I didn't go deeper into it. You know, There was a lot of people that said once Russia started the Ukraine war, that with all of the sanctions that Europe and America put on them, their economy would be dead in no time. And that didn't happen. And so everyone was like, oh, maybe their economy's fine because Russia found a way to sell oil to China and India, right? So they still had money, still had income. However, they've been spending so much on the war for so long and they've lost so many lives, prime-aged male lives, that it has to eventually catch up to their economy. And I think I've been reading more and more that's happening. Do you think invading North Korea would work for Russia? That is the dumbest question I've ever heard in my life. No, it's not. Not the dumbest on this stream. Not even the dumbest in the last 5 minutes, but it's dumb. Why the fuck would Russia go invade North Korea? North Korea is the only country on earth that sent Russia troops, and they're going to go invade them. You think Putin's thinking, I got all the troops out of North Korea to go help me out. That's why they're open to invasion. Genius. Genius, 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 genius. They would never expect it. What is this? Relevant election 1 minute segment? This is just Latinos for Donald Trump again. Yeah, no, I'm aware of that song. We've listened to it quite a few times. Okay, there's a couple things I did want to watch while we're on a fucking watch party here. Get Ari to sing it? No. One of them was the new Baseball Doesn't Exist video, which I heard is a heater. I heard it's a banger. But also, didn't I have I had some interesting... The Onion video? There's an Onion video? The Onion. Election touchscreen map. What is this?
New polling out this week shows a tight race in a handful of hotly contested swing states. Joining me now to break down the numbers is ONN's Jason Copeland at the Big Map.
Thanks, Dwight. We're seeing some really interesting trends in a lot of key battleground states. Let's start with Pennsylvania with its coveted 19 electoral votes. And I want to focus for a moment on Erie County up here. This is a crucial swing county. It goes Trump in 2016, narrowly back to Biden in 2020. Now I want to go in even further than that. This right here, this is Mill Creek Township, District 2. Polls are showing momentum toward Harris in areas like this. But to really understand what's going on, let's go even closer. Zoom in a little bit more. Right here, right here. This is 114 Hilltop Lane. Now, I want to take us inside the bedroom here. Bear with me. There we go. So this is Nick Camden, 37-year-old registered independent. He goes Hillary in 2016, Trump in 2020. Which way is he going to go in 2024? Really hard to say at this point. It's pretty early, but we know it's going to be close.
And Jason, what are you seeing inside this person that might indicate movement one way or another?
So this is just a very ordinary Rust Belt body, small town values, predominantly white. It's got the lungs, it's got the vascular system, the heart, but I actually want to show you what's in here. This is the neocortex and the amygdala. These are areas of the brain responsible for regulating emotion and memory. So let's play out a couple of scenarios here. If, for example, this man remembers his grandmother and the time she took him to an Al Gore rally in 1999, feels good about that, that's a win for the Democrats. On the other hand, take a look at this. This is the area of the brain that's associated associated with social interaction and groups, and we've seen it light up when Nick goes out for beers with his Trump-supporting coworkers. So we're looking at really a thin margin here. I want to show you something, actually. Let's come back out. Let's go past the rib cage, past the lungs, past the heart, past the tumor. Healthcare going to be a really big issue in this election, obviously. Past the DNA to what we're calling the source, the origin of life, existence itself, where all of humanity's answers can be found.
And can we zoom in further than that?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm scared. But what we can do is we can actually zoom out here, out of the DNA, out of Nick Camden, out of Erie, Pennsylvania, out of the solar system to the edges of our cosmos, where we see ultimately how meaningless this whole race really is and how insignificant all of our tiny little lives really are.
That is a big map. Thank you, Jason.
Powerful
Coming up next,
stuff.
the Trump campaign is in full-on damage control after footage leaked of the candidate being extremely rude.
That would tank him. That would tank him for sure. He's lucky he's been so polite. Yeah, he defaults to polite, but what's this? What's this? A new John Oliver on the election? Interesting. A new Good Work? Maybe. What is this? No. I'll watch the John Oliver. This is brand new. This is like 22 hours ago. Interesting. I like John Oliver's perspective. It was good to hear. I just think differently on something, especially because I just don't think he didn't mention the economy at all. I would love to talk more about it. The thing that worries me about this election is that I guess I'm worried that Kamala Harris wins. The economy gets worse, regardless of it's not because of her, but it's just going to happen. And then that's used to get like fucking mega Trump in 28. That is my worry. My worry is that, every country is heading into turbulent economic times. And that is why I get worried. And so some part of me is like, man, if this happened during Trump's administration, then it would fucking truly put a bullet in it. But I don't know. I'm voting for Harris. I'm voting for Harris, and I am hopeful, but we'll see. But nobody in the Republican Party has this level of sauce, though. I don't know if that. I mean, maybe. I think he's such a divisive person. He could never get. I don't know. Is there anyone who could think could gently embrace Trump? Not in the way they run it now, but I mean, someone will come along. That's just the way it works. If you were in 2015, you never predict Trump, then it comes out. Someone will come along. It'll probably be someone we don't expect. It'll be someone. I don't think it's going to be fucking Meatball Ron or JD Vance or any. I don't think it'll be that, but. Maybe Squeaks. Squeaks might do it. We'll see. We'll see. Man, I got to be honest with you. The people are listing so many names of American political leaders, and I just realized how I don't like any of them. I feel so estranged from the political class of this country. I just don't. I find so few people I feel excited and inspired about. I think Bernie was the last one, but even Bernie's so old now that I couldn't realistically vote for him. I mean, Lena Khan. Lena Khan for sure, but she's too young. She's not even old enough, I think. Not even old enough to run for president. She's 35? Oh, I guess she could. I thought she was 34. Pete Davidson? You think Pete Davidson should run for president? That would really piss Kanye off. That would really piss Kanye off if he got president, too. That'd be a tough one. Bronny James? I don't know. I guess, you know, it's funny. So I listen to like a lot of podcasts and interviews and stuff with people that I think are really intelligent. I'm gonna give you an example. Someone I don't agree with politically, but I think is intelligent, and that would be Stanley Druckenmiller. He's like one of the greatest living traders. Okay, he's a total Wall Street guy. I don't really fuck with a lot of his politics, but I think he's a really smart guy. Man, I listen to him talk about the economy and the world and different. He's intelligent. Okay, and I'm able to recognize that while not agreeing with him. Like I hear him say certain things, and I'm like, I don't agree with that. But I can acknowledge that he's at least not fucking stupid. I never feel like that listening to politicians in America. And I know that some of them are smarter than they let on. They pander, but I never ever just listen to a fucking conversation where I'm like, this person's really smart, and it always seems so grifty and pandery, and I think that's just what you have to do. But it saps my energy for it because I want somebody who's like really fucking locked in. Politics is an optics off. It's part of the game. You're talking like it's part of the game. Squeak thinks he is Vivek. You're not. Just because you played him in a GTA RP doesn't mean you don't get to fucking day one. I will be the president. You will see. I'd love that. I'd love that, dude. Squeaks, be president, dude. Go for it. You got my vote. What, Squeaks, can you explain something to me? I turned into your stream today and you said playing every video game ever made. And then I saw you play Mirror's Edge for 3 minutes and then StarCraft 2. And then I think you ended stream, or am I... What the fuck? What? That's not all of them. You think there was 2? You played every single game today starting with Pong? I just don't believe that. It was Pong into Mirror's Edge into StarCraft. That is the 3. Name another game? Fuck, he caught me. Name another game. That's crazy. It's called Stretching the Truth. Welcome to politics. Holy shit. He can really do it, folks. Holy shit. He really can. He just proved it right now. He can talk the talk and walk the walk. He's ready. Me as Squeaks' campaign manager drinking myself a fucking bottle of whiskey, staring off with a sunken look in my eyes as I realize he's like betraying the principles I believed in, that he's becoming just like the other politicians. realizing he's just as power hungry as the rest of them. Your Squeaks is Mike Pence. Only I will refuse to certify, okay? Don't worry about that. I will refuse to certify. I will find the votes. What pisses me off about the Harris Walls campaign is they are underutilizing Tim Walz. Are you telling me that making Tim Walz play Crazy Taxi with AOC is not gonna is not the best use of his time and messaging? I think he's doing a good job. I like Tim. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to listen to a lot of perspectives this election. I'm trying to read and open my mind, but I just generally have this I don't know, this general I'm just noticing that I never feel the way about politicians the way I do about other people I listen to talk. I just feel like it's never politicians are communicators, not experts. I think that's disingenuous, bro. I think that's disingenuous. I mean, yeah, they are communicators, but no one's asking them to be experts. You don't have to be an expert to be knowledgeable about, like, you know what I'm saying? I was watching again this documentary on JFK, and it was like JFK would sit down with the experts and like really fucking learn shit in and out, you know, to try and understand before making a decision. He would, and then you hear, like, I heard JFK's speech about the one that probably got him killed. The one about how we shouldn't get involved in Vietnam and need to have peace, and, you know, we can't let this specter of nuclear war over the world lead us to not find common ground. All that, whatever. It's like that speech. It, again, probably wasn't written by him, but it sounded smart. You know, it was well articulated. I don't hear speeches nowadays, and I'm like, they just don't sound smart, bro. They all sound, maybe we all got dumber, you know? Maybe we all got dumber, and the speeches got to be dumber. TikTok rave? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. This is something I think about. Something I think about around elections. I'm sure I will not care in 4 days, you know? But I care about it now. Didn't Obama sound smart, though? Yeah. Listen, I'm not the world's biggest Obama glazer. Not because of the stuff people say here, which is drones over and over. I'm mad about Obama because he had a generational chance to inherit a broken economy, and he could have blamed it on George Bush and not bailed out everyone on Wall Street. And we would have had pain anyway, and he would have been able to. But instead, he went for the immediate fucking massive bailout. That super bothers me, and that's like one of the reasons long term we are where we are now. We are set on a road of massive government printing, QE, bailout that led to massive asset price inflation, led to where we are now. That frustrated me, but he was not dumb. He wasn't dumb. And, you know, I've read Obama's fucking book. Like, he understood issues on a fundamental level. He understood shit happening in other countries. Like, you know, he wasn't ill-informed. Whoever wins, can you make fun of them for 4 years? I promise you I will. I promise you I will. That is a guarantee. Watch one of the old Nixon versus JFK TV debates and have their extraditing policy. Yeah, I mean, some part of that. Like, if you watch the old debates, they just, like, there's a clear simplification of language now. It just feels dumber. It just feels a little dumber. And it's like, I'm dumb as shit. I'm dumb so often. But I just, when I notice that the candidates seem dumb, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? Why are they talking like kindergartners? Why is it? That's people in this chat passing judgment on Obama with between hindsight. I mean, I'm sort of doing it. I'm passing a judgment on Obama with between hindsight. I think you're capable of doing that. I seriously think that was a big inflection point, and I just super disappointed because it just kicked the can. You know, it just kicked the can, and now we're there with the fucking can kicked. Sorry, I did something about Obama as a middle schooler. Yeah, I do blame you. I blame everyone in chat who was a middle schooler when Obama was president for not pushing him to have less fucking generous bailouts to Wall Street. Oh, we still have John Oliver on the screen. Caught me in middle school from another country. Wow, you weren't even American. It's definitely your fault for sure. By the way, if you're in elementary school, you can vote, okay? Don't let them tell you can't. Just fucking stack up 3 people and put a trench coat on, and you put 3 votes in the fucking thing. You can do it. Vote for your dead relatives like we did last time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you have any dead relatives, write a ballot in their name. Write 10 ballots in their name. That's fine. That's good. That's how democracy works, okay? In middle school, it was either trading crypto or stop Obama. How was it either one of those things? Those weren't in the same era. Those were in the same era. And how old are you? If you were trading crypto in middle school, you had to be so young. Bro's in 8th grade talking about unless you were super early. Unless you were super early. Breaking news, truly devastating for Harris. What's this? Moo Dang predicted Donald Trump will win the election. The famous baby hippo was presented with separate cakes featuring both candidates' names, and he ultimately chose to eat the Trump cake. Uh-oh. 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 I don't want to scroll on Twitter. You never know what he'll fucking... This was a misinterpretation. Mudang was trying to express the saying of eating the rich, therefore eating Donald Trump, signifying he wants him out of the presidential race. People who hated Mudang but didn't have a good reason seeing this news. Lots to think about. Lots to think about. Lots to fucking think about. Where was Mudang on January 6th? To gotta tell you, the core of my hesitation, I'll just say it now, I'm gonna say it tomorrow as well. The core of my hesitation, and maybe I'm fucking wrong, we'll just put that out there, but the core of my hesitation is that I am just not excited for, let's say Harris wins, and then the unemployment number keeps rising as it has been. We're now down to fucking 0 private growth in jobs. And then we just have to hear her get blamed for it constantly for 3.5 years into a fucking... I'm just so annoying. It's just going to be... It's going to be unlistenable. And it's... That is my... And then it's going to be a midterm stomp. And it's just bothersome to me. I would easily trade. I don't know. What if I'm wrong with the recession? Well, then there you go. If it's a fucking boom, then for sure. But I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it, bro. I'm not seeing it. What do the Trump voters in your family think? Yeah, I think I mean, again, I'm still voting for Harris. Obviously, I want better Supreme Court justices, and I want to not try insane things like repealing income tax and tariffing all our allies. like these are all things that'll make the problem worse, right? So I don't. But I guess. Everyone always thinks one step ahead, and I am thinking about 2028, and I'm thinking, man, I just don't see how it doesn't go fucking tits up. But we'll see. We'll see. Biden says Trump is the kind of guy you like to smack in the ass.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
I thought that was a joke.
But I'm serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass. But I'm...
Bro, Biden should do that more often. That's the first time he's been as funny as Trump. That is like the first time I've seen Biden be as genuinely, unintentionally funny as Trump. If he did that, he'd still be running. This face is so funny.
Serious. These are the kind of guys you like to smack in the ass.
That's fucking funny. Holy dude. They are lovers. There's a fucking world where Biden next Trump. There's a fucking world, dude. They have a will they, won't they? It's just, dude, it's actually so funny now that we've seen like a pretty good amount of Biden ever since he dropped out. He really had a generational low at the debate. He's old as fuck, though. I mean, it's none of it's great, but he really fucking choked that night. If he was even just this, you know, talking about some casual ass smacking, he got. I mean, yeah, Biden got way funnier since he dropped out. It's just so funny that a sitting president dropped out because they had such a fucking bad debate. I think that's crazy. It's funny we lived through that. That a fucking sitting president had just such a like, if it was just a little bit better, like he'd still be running. I mean, probably better he didn't because he'll lose, but it had to be that bad. JFK was never the same after the incident. Shut the fuck up. My whole life, my whole voting life has been Trump on the Republican side. I want to feel it feels. That's crazy, bro. You're young. You're young. We're gonna see tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy, bro. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy. He's 26. Wow. It's been 8 years. It has been 8 years. You're right. That's wild. That's wild. We went what? We went Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, question mark. Jeb. He's voting for question mark. Yeah, let's see. If I put glizzy hands in the ballot, do you think they'll know it's you? Yeah, absolutely. This is how marketing usually goes. What time is it? Oh, it's 10:52. I'm gonna end. I'm gonna fucking end. I'll be back tomorrow for a big stream. Chat, thanks for watching today. I'm gonna hang out with my wife. My wife. She's stressed with the election too. We shall see. We shall see. She's like, she said that Donald Trump might not win, and then she can't sing the song. All right. Hey, anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's Marketing Monday. I thought it was pretty good. Felt good about it. We did it on a Monday, which is awesome. We're back tomorrow for a big fucking all-day election coverage extravaganza. Sevens, thank you for watching. Remember to check out, get your Nortel merch while it's still available. Quarter zips, hats, they're fire. If anyone knows what they mean, they're going to fucking love it and give it a nice nod. Finance professors love it. Canadians love it. You'll get a lot of fucking Anyway, sevens. We're gonna raid Jmook. We're gonna raid Jmook. Quarter zips. It's this. This thing. It's like a quarter zip. Not all the way. Not half. Not full. But quarter zip. It's comfy. It's nice. Good night. Failedcodes.co. Failedcodes.co. Bye.